The junior senator from Virginia.
Madam President, I had not intended to speak today, but I had the good fortune to be on the floor to hear my colleague from Minnesota describe this urgent amendment, which we do need to take action on. And I want to commend her for the work that she's done for our Afghan allies over a number of years. I do believe if this is offered as an amendment, it will get an overwhelmingly positive vote in this body. And I wanted to just share a little bit about these Afghans in Virginia. In 2021, when Afghans were coming to the United States at the end of the war, they came to Virginia. Almost all of the Afghans who came to the United States came to Dulles Airport. They were then taken to a facility that was a Dulles Conference Center where they were processed. And I had the opportunity to see them both at the airport and at the Dulles Convention Center. After initial processing, these Afghans were distributed to 8 military bases across the United States, and 3 of those bases were in Virginia: Quantico, Fort Gregg Adams, and Fort Barfoot. And in those months, October and November of 2021, I visited each of the bases to interview the Afghans and hear about their journey, but also about their hopes for life in this country. It was tremendously inspiring. When Afghans would arrive at these bases on a bus from the Dulles Conference Center, they would be met by our troops standing outside the bus waving American flags. That was their welcome. I had a chance to visit with Afghans. When I visited Fort Barfoot in southern Virginia, I happened to be there the day before Veterans Day. And I went around to all these families and I said, I'm giving a Veterans Day speech tomorrow. What do you want me to tell American troops, veterans, and their families? And over and over and over again, what I heard from these Afghans was their descriptions of their love and affection for American troops, their love and affection for this country, the perils of the journey to get here, but their excitement that they might now be opening a new chapter of free life in the United States. More Afghans have chosen to settle in Virginia than any other state, by raw numbers and certainly per capita. And in those years since 2021, I visited with Afghans all around our Commonwealth. About a year after they arrived, we did a welcome celebration at Mount Vernon. And I had a chance to interview so many Afghans who were settling into life in the United States and hearing what they're doing. My colleague from Minnesota described some of the things that they're doing to already improve their community. I talked to young activists who were using the internet to try to help family members still in Afghanistan, or gain reports about human rights or the treatment of women in Afghanistan, or work on community support for Afghan communities around Virginia and around the United States. Just recently, I paid an amazing visit to a small city in southern Virginia, Danville, Virginia. I went there because of another part of this national security package. In the national security package, there is an investment in something called AUKUS, the U.S., Australia, UK Cooperative Defense Agreement in the Indo-Pacific, whereby the U.S. will help train Aussies to build nuclear subs, sell Virginia-built nuclear subs to Australia during the 2030s, but eventually enable Australia to build their own nuclear subs in the 2040s. The Navy, at my urging as a member of the Armed Services Committee, has helped stand up a training program in Danville. Danville is a great manufacturing city, but then lost a lot of manufacturing, tobacco, textile, furniture during the 1990s, but it's fought back strong. Danville is experiencing a renaissance, and about a year ago, the Navy opened up a facility in Danville to train the next generation of shipbuilders and sub-builders in this nation. And on the Armed Services Committee, as chairman of the Sea Power Subcommittee, I wanted to see this innovative program. It's an 8-week program, 5 different disciplines. People come from employers all over the United States to train together to help meet the requirements of our own defense and these AUKUS commitments that we've made. And as I walked in each of the 5 classes and looked at who was there learning, it started to dawn on me. It was youngsters from Danville It was people from all parts of the United States whose employers had decided they wanted to send them to this training program. It was Aussies, Australian shipbuilders, and those who build the current diesel-powered subs in Australia were sending people to Danville, Virginia for 8 weeks so they could learn side by side with their American counterparts. But it was also Afghans. It was Afghans who have been in this country less than 2 years, but who have already sacrificed to support the defense of this nation, and who have decided when they heard about this opportunity, you know what? Why don't I be a shipbuilder? Why don't I be part of the submarine industrial base? And watching Afghans sitting next to Australians, standing next to kids from Danville, Virginia, to train to build and manufacture the most complicated items that are built on the planet so that they can defend this country and defend freedom around the world. These are not only people who have sacrificed for us, these are people who are already becoming good citizens in this country, contributing to the nation, contributing to their communities. They don't deserve to be held in a legal limbo where every day they question what their status will be tomorrow. And that's why supporting the Afghan Adjustment Act, as negotiated into an amendment on this bill, might be one of the very best pieces of this bill. It is my deep hope that we can get this done before we leave here and pass the supplemental. With that, Madam President, I yield the floor.